Hello everyone, Eric here, and welcome to my computational science video tutorial. So this is kind of a special video. I'm not going to be recreating this in C++ or MATLAB. It's only going to happen for Python, and that's because we're going to be using a module that only exists in Python, at least on my computer at this time. It's probably out there somewhere in C++. So we're going to use a package called Turtle. Now this is really geared around something we're doing in my course. We want to teach objects first in our programming curriculum, and objects are a really useful way to learn about programming because we can start doing things and seeing the results almost immediately. So we're going to use a package called Turtle. Now I just recorded the NumPy package video, and we have to import NumPy, and we do the same thing with Turtle. We can import Turtle. Now Turtle should be there by default for Python. I think 3.4 is when they started to include it. Maybe earlier, I don't recall, but I have 3.5. Now we're going to be doing things with the Turtle package. And when we want to write a Turtle program in Python, there's a few things we need to do. We need to import Turtle. Then we need to actually create a Turtle object. So I'm going to call my Turtle just T, and I'm going to say that T is equal to Turtle dot capital T URTLE. And then this Turtle, this capital Turtle object, we need the parentheses after it, and that means we're creating an object called Turtle. So this is a function that creates a Turtle object and assigns it to the variable T. Now once we have this, we're going to create a screen object, and once again the screen object is inside of the Turtle package. And oops, I forgot my parentheses next to Turtle. There we go. So now we have a Turtle object and a screen object that are both created, and they've been assigned to a variable. And the variable is really the reference or the name we use to access it. So when we're making a Turtle program, we have to import Turtle. We're going to need to create the actual Turtle object, and we're going to need to create the screen. Now, we want to be certain when we run our program, we don't want the screen to stop. And I'm going to do a line of code that'll usually be at the end. It's going to be S dot MAINLOOP. So S dot main loop. And what the main loop is going to do is it's just going to keep the window open so it doesn't vanish once our program is finished. And then all of our code will go here. So main code goes here. All right, so this is going to be the main body of our code. So if I want my Turtle to move forward, what this Turtle package does is it gives us the ability to control the Turtle. So I can say T dot forward, and then give it a distance. And you can see in my autocomplete, you know, there are two properties being passed to it: itself, which is always there for an object, and the distance. So I want it to go forward by 20. Then I can see T dot right by 90 degrees. And if we GHT. Now, I'm going to try and get it so that these autocompletes pop up. Now, T dot right, we give it an angle. The angles for turtles are in degrees. Part of that's because when we start teaching Turtle programming, it was once part of an elementary school programming curriculum. So they keep everything in very basic elementary language. They have the turtle. They have, you know, degrees. The distances are very simple. They don't worry about units too much. So we can go forward and right. In fact, if we do this 4 times, it should create a square. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, we have a square, and we can create our main loop. All right, now I've already run this program, so if I hit play, it's going to run the program for me, and it's going to generate the output. Although I think, you know what, I think on my computer it puts it behind. Yeah, that's kind of frustrating. Let's see, if we minimize this, or make it smaller, maybe we can see it pop up. Here we go. You can see things being drawn kind of quickly. We'll run it one more time. There we go. So with the Turtle program, we're able to draw our shapes. Now, we can go more complicated than just forward and right. You know, we can use the autocomplete to see what can we do. Well, there's a lot of different words we might not know, but we can guess what backwards is. We can guess, well, forward, we're given a distance. There's a circle command. And for circle, let's see what happens. We can give it radius, extent, and steps. So let's play with this. Let's create a circle of radius 50. Let's give it an extent. Well, let's just create a circle of radius 50 and see what happens from there. Oh, so we have our forward by a bit, but that's not so important. I'm just going to delete the forward line. So we have a circle of radius 50. It drew a circle. For the extent, I'm just going to put 90 in here and we'll see what happens. Like I said, this is just kind of like playing. All right. So when we say an extent of 90, you can see we're only going to draw a quarter of the circle. There's actually another kind of interesting thing we could do. I'm going to use a function called pen up. Now, if we think of the turtle as a physical object and it has a pen it can raise and lower, when the pen is down, it's drawing. When the pen is up, it is not drawing. So I can go in a circle which has a radius of 50 for 90 degrees, so 1/4 of the arc. Then I'm going to lift the pen and I'm going to go that far again. Then I'm going to put the pen down and I'm going to go that far a third time. So we're going to draw, and then we're just going to move, and then we're going to draw again. You know, so when we have the pen up, it's not going to draw that second, leg of the shape. So let's draw this out real quick. Draw, don't draw, draw. As you can see here, we've made a circle, but we're just drawing 2 of the segments. All right, there was one other thing we could do a circle. I love the circle, by the way. So t dot circle, we know the radius of 50. That's a good one. If we do 360, it's going to draw the whole circle. But we can also control how many different steps we want. So what happens if we put a 3 in for the number of steps? Oh, it draws a triangle. If we put a 4 here, we're going to see something slightly different. All right, so by this point, I'm sure most of you have figured out the pattern. As we increase the number of steps, we're just drawing shapes with more and more sides. So the circle object is an interesting way that we can kind of get access to drawing some basic shapes, especially regular polygons. So there's a lot of interesting functions just sort of built in to this turtle, into the turtle module. And by playing with it, by going through the documentation, you can experiment to see how does it work, how can we manipulate it, how can we twist it into doing the things that we want. In fact, the other day I wrote a program for fun where the turtle would actually go through a maze, an image of a maze, and it was pretty neat. I might redo that project and upload it shortly in the future. All right, well, that's I think everything for today. This has just been some simple playing around with the turtle package. We've sort of talked about how we can do a circle, how we can do an arc of a circle, how we can draw a straight line, how we can move, how we can do things. Of course, all these things can be embedded in functions and other things of that sort. But I think this video might be starting to get a little bit too long, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for your time. I hope this was of use, and keep on coding.